Welcome back. Flat markets, and that gives us a time to look at a lot of numbers and perspective. With us is the top brass of Godrej Consumer, Adi Godrej, Chairman of Godrej Group, and Vivek Gambhir, Managing Director of Godrej Consumer Products. Gentlemen, both of you, welcome. Mr. Godrej, with your permission, I'm going to Vivek first with a more broader question, not just your number nitpicking, Vivek, but we are getting a lot of contrary and contradictory views on consumption trends itself. We just had the antique conference guys telling us that they notice from their conference participants that the rural market is very slow. Your numbers are good. Just give us color. Are rural markets better than what they were, say, in December, in November, in October? What about urban markets? Which products are seeing demand, which products are not?
So, Lata, if you look at the data, and I'll just share with you some data, industry data on home and personal care growth over the last few quarters. So, for the overall home and personal care sector as a whole, Q1 growth was 3.2%, Q2 was 4.4%, Q3 was 7.3%. So you can clearly see that a recovery is underway.
Okay.
If you look at rural growth was 5.3% Q1, 8.2% Q2, and 11.4% Q3. And urban growth was 2.1% Q1, 2.5% Q2, and 5.2% Q3. So urban growth has definitely risen sharply, but it had also gotten hurt a lot before. But rural is also growing, and rural is growing a little bit ahead of urban, but the rural pickup has definitely been more gradual. But we are seeing early signs of a recovery in growth in both rural and urban, but certainly urban growth will be sharper.
Is there any consumer? Yes, sir, please.
On this,
yeah.
A lot of people feel that because the monsoon was rather poor this year, the rural situation economically is not very good. It's true that the general grain and pulses output is slightly lower than in the previous year. But what has happened this year is because the high prices of fruits and vegetables last year, the fruits and vegetable output this year in rural India has been huge. And that is why fruits and vegetable prices are also down considerably this year. So that has created strong purchasing power in rural India.
Okay, but Mr. Godrej and Vivek, Mr. Godrej, you go first. Is there any consumer down trading? Is there a preference for sachets or smaller denominations over larger? Is there a preference for mass volume kind of products rather than high value expensive kind of products?
No, we don't see any significant down trading. In fact, because some of the middle class consumers are doing quite well, we are seeing a faster growth in upmarket type of products. Now, what we must realize in India is penetration of packaged branded products is still low. A lot of people would like to consume these products but are unable to afford them. So wherever there is an innovation in terms of providing a product in a new packaging format at a lower price, consumption does shoot up. And two of our recent innovations in this field have done exceedingly well. One is the Goodnight Fast Card, which is a 1 rupee anti-mosquito product, and the other one is the Godrej Expert Hair Creme in sachets, which is the lowest price creme hair color in the world. Both have done exceedingly well and improved penetration in their classes.
Okay. Mr. Gambhir, let me come.
If I can add.
Yeah.
Sure, please go ahead.
Okay, no, I just wanted to get to you on the margins. You've improved your margins to 17.8%, but in Q4, in the coming quarter, you should have the full benefit of the raw material price decline. So what could it do to your margins? How much higher could it go?
See, See, definitely I think we are expecting an expansion in margins. The exact amount will depend on two things. One is how much investments we would like to make for future brand building. We have a few innovations planned, and so we will make the call in terms of how much of these innovations to fund in Q4. The second thing also is that typically when input prices go down, we do see a little bit more intensification in competition. So we will have to make the call in terms of how much our promotional expenses will need to go up by. But overall, I think we will be able to deliver very healthy profit growth along with good revenue growth.
I might just point out that our margins have been higher despite the fact that we've made a very high provision for variable remuneration that we have for a large part of our employees based on performance. So you might see that our human resources costs provision in this quarter has been high. And as Vivek mentioned, with the way commodity prices are moving, this should help our margins going into the future.
Okay, I hope the TV18 management is listening to all that, Mr. Godrej. Well, Vivek, finally, should we expect any inorganic moves further? Basically, what's the export percentage and how has that done?
So international is about 48% of our overall portfolio, has done exceptionally well, 20% constant currency growth along with a 43% increase in net profit margin. So international clearly is doing very well across the board. Indonesia, Latin America, Africa, all of our geographies have been doing very well. With regards to inorganic, we are very open to these acquisitions, Lata, but frankly, it depends a lot on availability and valuations. So if we find the right acquisition at the right price, we'll be very happy to do it. But till then, we are very focused on our inorganic strategy.
All right. Vivek, Mr. Godrej, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for all the nuances and the directions.
Good talking to you.
Thank you. Well, from one consumption company to another kind of consumption company, Jubilant Foodworks.